I'm back. Back in the building, back in effect, back in black and blue. This is navy. It's light blue. Ladies and boys and girls and boys and ladies, how y'all doing? It's your boy Jay Brooklyn, the place to be. Raw rebroadcasters. How y'all doing? Hit that like button, subscribe, share it to all your friends, comment down below. So I'm back after 3 months. 3 months. I last spoke on the 4th of July, and I gave a history of why I love America. And it's no coincidence that I'm back now because I just remembered I am currently on vacation. And I feel like on vacation I can do things and get things on and popping. I'm currently working on my game movie for Resident Evil 3 on my other channel, the JTL Plays. If you like video gaming, hit that one. If not, it's fine. Stay on this channel and share it to all your friends. But so today is October the 10th, and which is known, depends on who you ask, Christopher Columbus Day, or Columbus Day, with respect. And now, because the woke ideology wants to change up certain words now, it's called Indigenous Day. And my coworker just texted me like an hour ago and told me that it is now called Freedom Day. I'm going to research that, but just like I did with the 4th of July, I'm going to give you a little brief history, a little 5 or 10 minutes of the brief history. This is on the almanac.com if you want to back up my facts on this. So, Christopher Columbus, what is Columbus Day? Is a federal U.S. holiday that commemorates the voyage and landing of Italian explorer Christopher Columbus in the New World on October 12th, 1492. If you grade school kids, even me, because I heard this growing up too. I'm not sure about the whole Gen Zs. There was this whole poem of Christopher Columbus sailed the seven, no, he sailed the ocean blue in 1492. That's how I remember the dates. There's certain dates I remember. 1492, 1912, 1945. These dates stick with you. And it's the anniversary of his landing in what would eventually be known the Americas was first formally celebrated 300 years later in 1792 by the Columbian Order Society of Saint Tamerlan in New York City. So, when is Columbus Day? It's observed on the second Monday in October each year. This means that the date changes from year to year. So this year it is the 10th, 2023 is the 9th, 2024 is the 14th, and 2025 was the 13th. So if anybody wants to know, there's that. So the brief history of Columbus Day. In Columbus Day, scholars knew already that the world was round. The fact dated from the ancient Greeks. People assumed that a ship traveling west from Europe would sail clear through to Asia. However, many believed that such a westward journey was impossible. Columbus, an Italian, I don't know what I can say that for, was convinced otherwise and persuaded King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain to sponsor his exploration and search for riches. So, on October 12, 1492, Columbus landed on a small island in the Bahamas, convinced that he had reached his destination of Asia. Although he was not the first European to come across the Americas, Vikings, among others, had visited before, his journey sparked enthusiasm for European exploration of the hemisphere and kicked off a significant connection between the Old World and the New World. The first celebration of Columbus landing in the New World took place in 1792. It was organized by the Columbian Order in New York City. In 1937, the occasion was declared a national holiday by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt, that's a Roosevelt. Roosevelt. Columbus Day has been observed on the second Monday of October since 1971. Thanks to Columbus's Italian heritage, some Italian American circles observe Columbus Day as a holiday for celebrating Italian history, culture, and accomplishment. See, this is like the you would call like the not the PC, because freaking PC is now trash. This is more like the more PG, the more children like version that we've been taught in schools. Well, depending on what schools you've gone to. Now let's go to the lore, which is the Columbus Day controversy. The observance of Columbus Day is not without controversy. However, although Columbus landing in a new world marked the start of a new age of exploration and development for the world, the reality of European colonization is that it brought disease, enslavement, and genocide to the indigenous people of the Americas. This part of colonial history has largely been left unrecognized in Columbus Day celebrations, as I said before, though in recent decades this has been changing, with more and more cities and states choosing to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day instead. So let's come up to the current times. Indigenous Peoples Day, which you can see in most calendars, even in your phone calendars. Some printed calendars have it, some don't. Some locations in the United States honor Native American culture on the second Monday in October with a holiday called Indigenous Peoples Day. Since the late 1980s, this day has been celebrated instead of or alongside Columbus Day. The purpose of Indigenous Peoples Day is not to erase Columbus Day from history, but rather to recognize, honor, and celebrate the Native American cultures and people who have inhabited the Americas since long before European explorers arrived. So now we have this dual holiday on the the second Monday of October. Now let me Google this Freedom Day that I just heard. It said Freedom Day. It's Wednesday, the February 1st. What is Freedom Day? Freedom Day is celebrated on April 27th. What? So why is it February 1st? Well, that's next year. Anyway, let me get into that. But we all know about Columbus Day and Indigenous People Day. The fact of the matter is this, depending on how you were taught. See, I was raised up knowing both sides. Okay, they didn't. Well, they did tell me that Columbus came over to the New World, saw the Indians, and that's why we had this whole Thanksgiving thing come into play, because he came in for a new world. Oh, it's a new world, but people lived here already. And some people, depending on who you ask, like Jesse Lee Peterson, who says, oh, if it wasn't for Columbus, America wouldn't be America in 1776. Then there's this whole enslavement and genocide and disease. Listen, months before this, we've had people, the woke ideology, taking down statues and destroying stuff because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's part of history. Okay? It's part of history. Now, I'm not saying what Columbus did was right, but it depends on where you research. I mean, it again, some facts say when he came over here, he saw the Indians, and he just straight up attacked them. Some say that there was a war between them. Whatever happened on that day, okay, It's just what it was. Now, some people chastise Columbus. They want to take down the statues. They want to spit in his grave and say, "Oh, he stole the land from the Native Americans." This may be so, but this is America now, okay? And you know, here on the IOD channel, I like to be independent and objective. This is what they did back in those days. Seriously. People would travel from land to land, and if they overpowered somebody, that was their land. You've seen this in every movie. You've seen it in every TV show. The Walking Dead. People, you know, the fans who say, "Oh, I stopped watching it after Negan came and killed Glenn." Spoiler alert. But the fact of the matter is this: what were they doing? They were setting up communities in states, and if somebody was powerful enough to overpower them, that's just what it was. It's not right, but this is what it is. And me personally, do I hate Columbus? No, because it was the times. It wasn't a civilized society, you know, because in those times. Because when I say a civilized society, there were no laws. Okay, like if someone, let's say, for instance, let's say that from someone from Europe came over to DC and tried to take over the White House, there would be laws. There were no laws back in those days. It's just what it was. It's part of history. Now, if you're Italian and if you want to celebrate Columbus Day, that's on you. If you are Native American and you want to celebrate the Indigenous Day, that's on you. Okay? But you see, the thing is, when people want to take certain figures back in the days, like whether it's Columbus, Hitler, or even the Queen. Not even the Queen. Well, yeah, the Queen, for example. They did what they did at that time, okay? But the descendants, generations later, all right, you cannot hate on that generation. Because again, there's this whole, the whole saying, the sins of the father. Granted, my father may have done this, but that's not who I am personally, unless they do the same thing. Okay? So it's like, my thing is, it's Columbus Day, it's Indigenous People Day, it's a freaking holiday. Okay? Take the day to do what you want to do, but do not hate. You could observe, you can look at the event as tragic, but what you do now is what matters. You can take something that was horrific, like a war or a fight or a genocide, and turn it into something good. Like, okay, this day happened. We cannot change that. We have no DeLorean, we have no TARDIS, we have no freaking phone booth to go and change the times. In 1492, we can't do that. We cannot do that. We can't. What you can do is just observe it and make it better for yourself. That's just it. So tearing down the statues, Columbus, General Lee, all the people who I guess were bad in those days. You can do all that shit you want, but the fact of the matter is this: it happened. This history, like 9/11, it happened. No matter what you can do or say, you can be mad at the Muslims or whomever were responsible for 9/11. Fine, you can do it all you want, but the fact of the matter is this: it happened. You cannot change that. The people that died, they died. That's just it. All right, that's just it. And and here's another year in a woke ideology of people who are just full of hate, who are full of anger, who are full of just, just who's just bitter at what happened, and they blame the people who are alive now as it's their fault, like slavery. Like, well, I'll get to that to a different time. But listen, Columbus Day, Indigenous People Day, do what you want to do. Whatever you do, don't hate. Because you hating somebody, because what somebody else did years ago makes you know better. All right? It's your boy Jay Brooklyn, the place to be. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, share to all your friends, comment down below. All right? And I'll be back with another video. See you next time. Different Black channel. No. What's that? I done it in a while. See you. No. Same Black channel, different Black time. Godspeed. Good night. Holla at your boy. Blackout.